Okay, it's the 24th of July. It's a Thursday. We've got about 25 minutes to the NY Open. Right, we'll go to the charts in a second. Just a second. Okay. Yeah. Sound is good? I think so. All right, let's start with the calendar. We've got some news events today. There's news that unemployment claims at 8:30 a.m. EST. These are not important news events, but because unemployment claims are at 8:30 a.m. EST, 30 minutes after the NY Open, we're going to wait for that before we look for any setups, right? Just makes sense because it's a red news folder on Forex Factory, and it's just 30 minutes after the NY Open. It makes sense to just wait. All right, so price pushed up. We were anticipating a reversal here, and that's exactly what happened. We spoke about this yesterday. If you watch the first 5 minutes or 7 minutes of yesterday's stream, um, I mentioned that price should push down from here, right? I'll recap, I'll go over exactly what I said yesterday, but you can go watch the first 5 minutes of yesterday's stream also. Price came here the first time, we pushed down 1,650 pips. We came here second time, we pushed down 1,300, 1,400 pips, and we came here third time and pushed down about 500 pips, well, about 650 pips, yeah, 650. Yeah, 650 up to this wick bottom. And now we've come up there the fourth time and pushed down again another 650 pips, right? So that's exactly what I said. Yesterday, we were expecting a reversal here, and it happened, and we did take sells, and it pushed down. Now, let's take a look at the weekly. What's happening? We're rejecting on the weekly 3430. We still have a day and a half to go. So I wouldn't say that say that the weekly candle is going to flip bearish. I wouldn't say that yet. It could flip bearish, but I'm not going to say that yet, right? Because we have another day and a half to go, and that's a lot of trading left. But we are rejecting that area, right? Now let's go to the lower time frame and see why we're rejecting that area. It's clear on the daily time frame. Um, okay, so we had a red rectangle marked here until yesterday. We had it for about 5 weeks, I think. This is a drop, a base, and a drop, right? That pushed price down all the way here. It came back up. We created some sort of demand. You could say a rally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basin candles, right? Or maybe even a rally here and 2 basin candles and a push up demand. This demand is significant. It's a decision level because it took out this supply here. Drop, base, drop, right? This demand pushed up and took out that demand. You can see that wick was taken out by this move up this candle right here. So this area becomes a decision level. So that's possibly where price is heading to, right? Price is attracted to such levels. So that's where we are very likely heading to. We could be coming down as close as 3350 and then get a push up, or we could come even deeper into this level because this zone is about a 400 pip zone. So we could come deeper and then reverse as well. Okay, but that is a decision level. So we got to watch that area when price gets there for lower time frame confirmations for price to push up. Okay, we are at the moment about 140 pips away. It's not too far away. So we're very likely heading there maybe today. could be in the NY session or could be tomorrow in the Asian session. We might head down and start getting a push up, Asian or London tomorrow. Let's see. Because we've already pushed down about, the daily candle is already 326 pips. So we still can print a 400 or 450 pip candle. That's possible. And then price could start to go push up again. We could get a bounce here. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be a reversal or not. As I said, there is a day and a half of trading left for the weekly candle to close. So it's too early to say what's going to happen with this candle. Tomorrow, NY session, we'll try to predict the weekly candle close like we usually do. All right, let's go to our trading chart. Now, before I draw the zones, we'll do a quick recap of the trade that we took. I did not give out any trade ideas because this was a trade that I took during the stream, and I was holding that trade through the stream and even after the stream, and price dropped to the liquidity candle. I think I got out around here. It was about a 7-hour trade. I took about 180 pips on it. Stop loss was very tight. I shared everything on the stream yesterday. It was taken live. The initial stop loss was there. Then I said we could bring it to 34, 31, 41. I also gave risk management levels. Those levels were marked in red. So my stop loss was about, let's say, about 24 pips, 24, 25 pips, and I took some entries right there, just under the sniper level and at the sniper level. And I think I got out at about here. I got out around here at about 175, about 175 pips, I think 175, 179 pips. I don't remember. And then we pulled back up, and there was a second trade. I'll just explain that. I didn't take the second trade because I got out. I took out about close to 7 RR on that trade, and I was out. And I did share that trade, the exact setup on my socials. If you go here, yeah, if you go to my account on X, it's under Steve Trades Gold. You can give it a like. You can like it or follow it if you want to. I do post the streams here just before I go live. I also post any trades that we take during the streams, right? If I take a trade during the stream, I'll instantly post it as well. So if you go look here, everything's explained very clearly. This explanation is the same explanation that I shared during the streams. You can go watch the streams. These are the entries. There's still one. There was a couple of pending orders still left here. I closed, some of them here at 3.4. Yeah, I think 3.416. It's 3.416. I closed some of them, and the balance was further down. I think 3.411. That's where I got out. 3.411. Where is 3.411? Yeah, here. That's exactly where I got out. So yeah, about 180 pips, 180 pips in total, right? Okay. I didn't give out any other setups for the day. That was the only trade because it was actually there was no point in giving any more trades because this trade was still in play. And also that's not the only reason. I didn't see any setups for later on. I didn't see any. I mean, you can always wait for price to push down, create a new low, pull back, create resistance, 15-minute or 30-minute resistance, and look for the trade to go down. Right? This trade is always a trade, and that's there here. So if you're in the group, you'll find the link to the group in my YouTube bio or below this YouTube video. You'll find a link, and in that group you'll find this PDF, right? These are the setups that I take. There are 4 main setups that I look for every day. So the setup that happened in the end, the second, later on in the end, not the second half, but the setup that happened later on is this setup. Price created a new low in the NY session, pulled back, created 30-minute resistance, and came down to retest the low and continue even lower, right? I'll show you guys exactly what that means. So this candle here, this candle tapped the liquidity candle. This one right here, let me zoom in. This candle right here, we tapped the liquidity candle. This candle broke the candle low. So you can draw the fib from here to that. right? And here's the pullback. We come to the optimal entry, 30-minute resistance is formed, and price pushes down, right? All the way down. So you can place a pending order here, or you can wait for the 30-minute resistance to form and then take the trade. Either of them are okay, right? You can place the pending order, or you can wait for 30-minute resistance and then take the trade. They're both okay. And price did drop. We were very bearish yesterday. So we came down first to the liquidity candle and then even further down, and now we've dropped even further. Okay, let's get rid of all of this and start with our zones again. Yeah, we're going to keep that for now. All right, very bearish. Push down 770 pips. We could be coming down further. Okay, let's start. So let's start up here. There is new supply here. There is a rally. There are 4 basin candles here and a clean drop. Let's start with that. Let's draw a new rectangle there. Okay, let's take a look at that level on the 1 hour. Yeah, it's good. It's good on the 1 hour. It's good on the 4 hour. So keep it on the 4 hour. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. This close is 044. This high is 882. 882. 0. We've got plenty of time because we have to wait till 8:30. 8:30 a.m. AST. So there's plenty of time. We've got another. Yeah, we've got another 50 minutes. 40 minutes. Got another 40 minutes. All right, so we've got another supply zone here, a drop, 2 basin candles and a drop. Let's mark that as well. Okay, let's take a look at this area on the 1 hour because we've crossed a psychological round number. We need to take a look at this area on the lower time frames. There is nothing there. Let's go to the 30-minute. Nothing on the 30-minute either. Really ugly price action. Very slow movement. Just keep it on the 1 hour. Yeah, like this. 598. 680. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's move this higher. $38.82. Yeah, that's better. All right, we're pushing down. Let's take a look at demand. Yeah, we've pushed past this zone here. One second. Yeah, we pushed past this. We're coming down. We're coming down. Get rid of that. Okay. So the next demand level is right here. Let's extend that to the right. We've had that drawn for a few days now. There's a liquidity candle in there. I'm going to extend that right as well. Okay. For demand, high liquidity zone. For demand, also high liquidity zone. And it covers about 300 pips to the downside. We've already moved about 300 pips. Yeah, let's move this also. Let's move this to the right as well. Extend this to the right as well. Sorry. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we've got a 4-hour supply here, 4-hour supply here, and a 4-hour supply here. Right. So we have two new supply zones and prices heading towards this old demand. Okay. Let's take a look at this 3367 area because price has crossed a weekly SR level. We need to go to the lower time frames on that. Yeah, there is a zone there. Yeah, on the 1 hour it's clear. You have a drop, a base, and a drop. Whenever price crosses a psychological round number like 3,400 or 3,350 or 3,300, we need to go to the lower time frames in that area to look for a zone. Okay. If you've been here on the streams, then you hear me say that every day. Okay. Size 460 and 768. 460768. Let's take a look at that area on the 30-minute quickly. Yeah, that's good on the 30-minute. That's fine. Okay. So now, next step is we're going to take a look at these areas, this new supply, and see if it's taken out opposing demand zones, right? And that'll tell us if these are high liquidity zones or not. Let's start here. That's the one closest to current price. Has it taken out this low here? Yes, it has. This candle here, let me just zoom in. I can't zoom in actually. Yeah, this candle right here has taken out this low. There you go. So that's a high liquidity zone, right? Let's take a look at this one. Has this taken out anything to the left? Yeah, there is demand here, a drop on 30-minute. You'll find, there you go, a drop and a rally. So there is a base here, maybe on the 15-minute, but on 30-minute it's visible as well. These two candles are the base, and that's the rally. And price pushed down, and this wick took out that low. So that's a high liquidity zone, right? Let's go further up. Has this taken out anything to the left? Yes, it has, obviously. This big zone has pushed down and taken out this. So that is also a high liquidity zone. All right. Okay. Next, we're going to take a look at this area, these new supply zones that we have, and look for a high liquidity candle in them. Now, price is heading towards this high liquidity candle here. We had marked this a few days back. The top of that high liquidity candle is 33.53.88, so around 33.54. That's where we are heading, around 33.54. That's where we should get. We should probably get there first. That's about 80 pips away. Yeah. Let's take a look at this area and see if we have a high liquidity candle in here. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. There is this big candle here to the left of the zone. That's a good place to start. Let's go to 30-minute. Yeah, that's still the candle. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yep, that is still the candle. Let's go to the, well, how big is that candle? Oh, it's 114 pip candle. Let's go to the 5-minute. Yeah, keep it on the 15. We have tapped it already. 15 is good. Left of it, there is nothing. Yeah, 15 is perfect. You can see how price has tapped it. And the weekly SR level 33.67. 727 607. Okay. Let's look at this one here. Do we have a high liquidity candle? We have this large candle right here. Let's start with that. Let's go to the 30-minute. Yeah, still that candle. Let's go to the 15. Let's go to the 5. Yeah, 5 minute is great. How big is that? 128. Wow, let's go to the 1 minute for a second. No, 5 minutes is good, I think. 65. Mm. Let's look at it on the 1 minute. 529873. 5298. Yeah, I think the 5 minute is better. 5 minute is better. This candle right here. 9820. 554. Okay. Yeah, we tapped it here. See, that's why the 5 minute candle is correct. You can see the tap on the way down. That's important. Okay. 1 hour time frame. Let's look up here. Price is not going to come up there. We don't really need to do that now, but we can. We've got time. We've got 30 minutes. We've got 30 minutes, 27 minutes for news. There's plenty of time. So, yeah, we'll do that now, and then I'll. Okay. Let's take a look at this on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, the largest candle would be this 104 pip candle. Yeah. Start there. Let's go to the 30 minute. It's still the same candle. 88, 95. Let's go to the 15. $78. Yeah, 30 minute is good. Keep that one on the 30 minute. Yeah, this candle right here. 141201. $31.41. Move this up. Perfect. Okay, done. That's the analysis. Still have about 25 minutes. Yeah, we got 25 minutes to news. Plenty of time. So we have a 4-hour supply zone here, a new one that we created. We have a 4-hour supply zone here, and we've got a 1-hour supply zone here. Okay. Okay. I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and then we'll take a look at what price is done in the Asian and London sessions. All right. I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. Then we go to the 15-minute time frame, and we'll take a look at what price is done in the Asian and London sessions. Okay. Right. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Very ugly. Just noise. Nothing happening. Very slow. Okay. Let's take a look at where the market opened. Here, right here. That's the market open. Opened at 3389.5. Let's draw the swings. This high is 341. And then 5. Okay, still have about, yeah, 16, 17 minutes to news. Let's take a closer look at what price has done in the Asian and London session. So in the Asian session, we moved down about 185 pips. In the London sessions, yeah, similar 140 pips. So yesterday we had a big bearish move. NY session started right at NY session and then continued after the first, continued into the second half of NY session. And then around the second half of NY session, we started to range. We started to flatline. Price moved sideways. We created a liquidity candle here on the way down, and then price started moving sideways, right? The market opened right here. Let me just zoom in. Yeah, so that's the liquidity candle here. This is the liquidity candle, and price is moving sideways. And then the market opens here inside the liquidity candle. We come a little deeper into the liquidity candle. We create the Asian high, and then we push down past the liquidity candle. We create the Asian low, push back up to the liquidity candle, tap the liquidity candle, create 30-minute resistance right there. 30-minute resistance, we tap it, create 30-minute resistance, come back to the low. On the way down, we come down, tap it, we push back up, we create the London high, and we close directly below the Asian low and come straight down to 3367, form support there, push back up to the Asian low, reject it, create 30-minute resistance right there, 30-minute resistance, and push down back and close below 3367. We close below 3367, right? And then we close below, the next candle breaks a low, closes below the London low, and now we're just hovering under the London low for the last 3 hours, right? 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, we're just under the London low, right? In between these two levels, this London low here and this liquidity candle here. Yeah, it's tapped some sort of resistance. That's why a lower time frame resistance. That's why it's pushing up. Now, what could happen? I think price is coming up above here, above 3367. Right? Let's take a closer look at that. Yeah, we're pushing up above this wick here. We're very likely coming deeper in. I want to see why price kind of stopped here. That makes sense. Yeah, we're coming down, but we might push up first and then come down. So we've got about 13 minutes to news. We're just ranging right now. Nothing is happening. That's a very important area, though. It's a very important area. Yeah, it's a tight squeeze. There are old weekly lows here and old weekly highs here. Mm. That's why I'm going to wait for a breakout. I'm going to wait for a breakout for price to break above this to grab liquidity to continue down, or I'm going to wait for price to break below this low to grab liquidity from down to either push up or to push up, create resistance, and then come down. Okay, that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'll explain that again. Price is in a range here. It's stuck here in a range. There is a, one second, save this. Okay, right. We're stuck in a range here, right? We're just, that's the top of the range and that's the bottom of the range. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, the bottom of the range is around 33.57, 33.57, 33.58, right? 33.58, sorry, 33.58. And then the top of the range is this, the London low here, right? So I'm going to wait for one of two things. I'm going to wait for price to break this high here, come deeper, grab liquidity, push down, or price to break the low, continue down, break this, pull back up, create resistance to continue down. One of those two scenarios. Okay? So either price pulls back above this high, we look for resistance, wait for 30-minute resistance to form to take the trade to come down, or wait for price to break below this and even come further down, deeper, and then look for a pullback 30-minute resistance for price to come further down. Right? Those are the two scenarios I'm waiting for. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. We still have about nearly 10 minutes for news, plenty of time. Um, any questions you can always post in the chat, yeah? And I'll do my best to answer. Any questions with regard to the analysis we've done? Yeah, you can post it in the chat. It's very messy. It's very messy, this area. That's why it's slow, because price is hitting many previous weekly lows and highs here right now. That's why we're ranging. So you got to be patient. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait for a breakout. Exactly as I said. I'm going to wait for a breakout to the downside. I'm going to wait for a breakout to the upside. Now, different traders trade breakouts differently, right? Some traders could be trading buys when price breaks above these highs, looking for buys. That's fine. That's the way they trade, and that works for them. They're profitable with that. That's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And some traders wait for a breakout here below the low to look for sells to go further down. That's fine too, right? There's nothing wrong with that if that's the way you trade. But I trade a bit differently. I'll be waiting for a breakout here for price to pull back, create resistance to look for the sells to come down. Or I'll be waiting for a breakout below this for price to continue down, for price to push down first, then pull back, create resistance, and go down. Or we could come down here, all the way down here, around 3332, around this area, 3000, between 350 and 3332, anywhere in there to create support to go up. Okay, remember the high time frame analysis that I shared right at the beginning of the stream. Price is heading to this area. This is a decision level. We mark that here with a green box like we did before. Okay, that's where we're heading. And that is why I'm looking for sells, right? And it makes sense now. We're heading to 3350 or below. So that is why price to break above this, create resistance, sell to come down, or price to break below this, and then a pullback, and then to come down, right? This is where we're heading to 335, below 3350, right? In between 3350 and 3332. Still have about 6 minutes left. I'll be back in a few minutes. 1 second. I might be willing to take a trade here. If you come deep here, stop loss above that, look to trade to come down. Why? Because this 30-minute resistance formed in the London session inside the liquidity candle, and the next candle broke the low, and price hasn't come there. We came close, came to 3367. We haven't come here. Yeah, 50, 60 pips stop loss to come deeper. 190 pips. Yeah, makes sense. This makes sense. Hmm. Yeah, 460, and this low is 254. 462. Yeah. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. So I'm looking for sells from here. Let's see what happens. Hmm. What numbers are they expecting? Expecting bad numbers. Doesn't really matter with news like this. We are very bearish right now. Weekly is bearish, daily is bearish, 4 hour is very bearish, 1 hour is bearish, 30-minute is bearish. Yeah. Just want to tap back into this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll look to get out here above this 30-minute high. 768. There's no top wick. Wow. No top wick. We've tapped it already. We've tapped this little supply zone here. Drop base drop right at 3367. We could drop. We could drop. We can drop. Tapped it in the liquidity candle in the London session. 30-minute resistance has formed. Price is pushing down. Yeah, we could drop without a pullback, but let's see. If we pull back, I'm going to take sells to come down. I've explained why already. Stop loss above there. Entries level somewhere here. Let's see if we push up. If we push up, I don't think there's going to be any big news move. It's not going to happen, but if we push up in the next 30 minutes, then maybe I'll look to take sells to come down. I'm not going to chase price here. Anticipating price to come down here. 3350. 3350. But only if we get a pullback. Yeah. I would prefer a pullback above this. In this, yeah, in this area. In this 45 pip area. I would prefer a pullback here to come down. Let's see. It's not a major news event, so there is nothing happening. It was good numbers, less than forecast, less than expected, better than expected. Low numbers, low unemployment claims. These are the number of people who claim unemployment benefits. We should be pushing down. But I'm not chasing price. If it goes down without a pullback, so be it. Absolutely fine with that. I don't chase price. But this is where we're heading to. 3350. That's where we're heading to. 3350. I'm going to place a pending order here. 67, 68. And it's close here. 975. Yeah, got some, place some pending orders there. Let's see if we come there. Hmm. I don't like the fact that this EMA is so far away. We could be coming to that. We'll delete this order here. I'm not. Could come back to tap it. I'm going to delete my pending orders. I'm deleting my pending orders. I'm not going to. I'm going to wait. Let's wait for price to come up. I don't like the fact that this EMA is so far away. Price can come and tap it. That's 106 pips, and I don't want to be. I don't like drawdown. It's better to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Let's see what happens. Let's see how far price comes. Depending on if it gets somewhere here, maybe to the sniper level, I might open an entry. But I'm not going to keep pending orders open. This candle should close bullish and push up. See the 5-minute candle? Yeah, we should close bullish. I think we'll come down again, or probably once more, and then we begin to push up. Yeah, let's see how the 15-minute candle might close a doji. Okay, I'll grab a coffee and come. It's got about 20 minutes to wait for this candle to close. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to wait for this candle to close. I don't like this area. I want price to break this. And I'm waiting for this 30-minute candle to either break this, to break the high here above 3367, or break this low. Right? That's all I'm waiting for. And there's 20 minutes for that. So I'll be back in a few minutes. All right, we still have about 30 minutes for the candle to close. There's nothing to do right here. Absolutely nothing. No. No, I don't want to take a sell here. It could drop though. Yeah, dropping. Could come all the way down. Mm. Yeah. Price didn't come far enough for me. I wanted it to come somewhere here, above the optimal entry level, somewhere here. Then maybe you've taken a trade. But we're coming down. Yeah, there we go. We're coming down. Yeah, that's unfortunate. This candle tapped the liquidity candle, but yeah, this one, what is this high? 606. And this is 607. Oh, what's this low? 607, yeah. We came there and dropped 113 pips. It's nothing, yeah, can't do anything about it. Yeah, we're pushing down. I'm going to be here for another maybe 3-4 minutes. Let's see what we have for later on today. The move down already happened. There's nothing, price didn't come far enough for me. I wanted it to come further up here. It didn't. Even if it came towards 3367, I would have considered maybe taking above these highs here, come deeper, but it didn't. So here's what it's heading to 3350, right? We're heading here. We know that we're heading here 3350. What I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be looking for is this. We're pushing down. So I explained this right at the beginning of the stream. This is the area that it's pushing into. That's a 180 pip area that price is needs to come into, right? Into this zone here. So what I'm going to be looking for is for price to push further down. I think it's going to push past 3350. Then a pullback resistance. We don't need 30-minute resistance. 15-minute resistance will do because price is currently 228 pips away from the EMA. So let's see where this candle closes. It's going to close in 6 minutes. So at that point, if there is a pullback after that, 15-minute resistance is good enough to take the sells to come down, right? That's the trade for later on, the trade that I'm going to be watching for later on. Now, let's re-look at this liquidity candle because let's get a 30-minute. 30-minute is better. We're deep inside this candle, this bull candle right here. Should be coming to the end of it, to the bottom of it. So we're going to come through this zone very likely. Yeah, we're going to be coming here. Yeah. Let's take a look at that on 15-minute. Oops. Let's take that 5-minute candle, this one right here. 260, 014. 260, 014. Perfect. Okay. So that's where we're heading to. Put a price level there for later on, a trade for later on. 3. Okay, perfect. Forget it. No need to look at that. Okay. All right. Where is that? 3343. 3343. Yeah. Right. To these wicks here. 3343. Perfect. Okay. So here's where I'm anticipating price to come to 3343. So what I'm going to be looking for, obviously first come to 3350 and then to 3343, and then if there is volume even further down. So what I'm going to be looking for the setup for later on, right? Because these sells, price didn't come up, it didn't pull back, further up for me to take a trade. It wasn't enough. The pullback wasn't enough. It just came only here. I was anticipating price to come above here. It didn't, so I didn't want to take the sells because if I did take the sells, my stop loss would have been too wide. I would have had to place it in the liquidity candle, and in the liquidity candle, there's nothing in the liquid, there's just clean space in the liquidity candle. So that's the only swing high there. So I would have placed it there, 100 pip stop loss. I don't trade that way. That's way too much. So now what I'm going to be doing is looking for a pullback. Let's see where this 30-minute candle closes. It's going to close in 3 minutes. It's going to very likely close somewhere here. So that is over 200 pips away from the EMAs. I'm going to be looking for this setup, right? This setup right here, where price is over 200 pips away from the EMAs, a pullback, 15-minute resistance to form, and a 15-minute tradable back candle to close to take the sells to come down, right? That could be it. Could look for that. Or even this is okay, all right? This is fine too. You can also wait for 30-minute resistance. So we're creating a new low in the New York session, uh, a new low in the NY session, and then a pullback, 30-minute resistance, and a 30-minute tradable back candle to take the sell to come down. They're both okay, 15-minute resistance and 30-minute resistance, either of them, right, for price to push down. So that's what I'm going to be watching for later on, okay? I'm going to end the stream now because this is going to take time. The pullback is going to take time. It's not going to happen now. Maybe, how long is the 4-hour candle to close? An hour. Maybe wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Maybe, just maybe, around the 4-hour candle close, which is about about an hour from now. Possibly then, right? Just tapped the liquidity candle. We've just tapped it here, right? Price just came, tapped the liquidity candle. So maybe a pullback now, or maybe the next candle breaks the low and heads to 3350. That's very likely that we head further down with the next candle, and then the pullback happens after that candle, right? So not this candle, the next candle pushes down further, breaks the low, pushes down further, and then the pullback happens with the next candle, right? So maybe wait for another 45 minutes to an hour, 30 minutes, at least 30 to 45 minutes to look for a sell setup to come down, okay? All right. Um, that's going to be the end of the stream. If you find the streams useful, if you find any value in it, then like it and share it. It helps to get the word across. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. We'll do our analysis, draw our zones, do the analysis. And before we do any of that, we'll first do a recap and see if price did what I said it would do, right? If price pulls back, creates resistance to take a trade to come down, and if it does, and I do take the trade, I'll post it on my socials. You can take a look at it. I'll explain the exact same reasons why I've explained here. What I've explained here is what will be there um, in the explanation on the chart explanation, right? Um, all right, you can follow my IG. It's Steve Trades Gold, and I post with every stream. If I do take a trade, I post it. Right, clear explanation of why I took the trade, where I entered, where I placed stop loss. If I had explained that there could be two possible stop losses, I would explain that too. The liquidity candle, the Asian lows, London, everything, the TP levels, everything's explained very clearly here. Why I took the trade, everything's explained. Okay, you can go see my past trades, they're all there. If it helps, if that information helps you, then you can subscribe or follow my IG or my X account. All right, 30-minute candle has closed bearish. The next one has already broken the low. We should pull back, create a top wick, and continue down. Right, I want it to continue down. I'm expecting. Let's see what has happened here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm anticipating price to head further down. Wait for a probably this candle is going to push further down, close bearish, and the next one could pull back. Okay, that's what I'm going to be watching for. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Tomorrow is Friday. There is no news tomorrow, but we will do a weekly candle prediction of how the weekly candle will close. Based off that, what we expect the daily candle to do, and based off the daily candle, what we anticipate the NY session to do tomorrow. All right. Okay. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care. Don't overtrade. Don't over risk.